So away we go in the Stonor. This is the next race. Premier women's double. Titterington and Connolly against Glen and Glover from New Zealand. They get everywhere, don't they? Grace Prendergast, good morning to you.
Good morning, lovely to be here.
And we have immediately got a flag up for the New Zealand boat. Get them back on their side of the water. From the Buck station going out central.
Yeah, they're really hugging that middle. That wouldn't have been the start they were after, but hopefully they can come on and not be too rattled by that. That's the key here, is if that happens, you just have to kind of absorb it and get back on track.
New Zealanders coming in here and causing chaos up at Temple Island and in the commentary box.
Well, it's actually, interestingly enough, because of unfortunate situation, Catherine's partner couldn't race in this. This is actually a half British, half New Zealand double with Lucy Glover filling in last minute in it.
Part of the GB squad, Lucy Glover, for the last few years.
So we can't put it all down to the New Zealand chaos.
I'll try. And here you can see Jennifer Titterington and Sophie Connolly, the Irish pair, and Nottingham Rowing Club as well, represented in this. As you say, a change in the boat. It must have been frustrating for everybody concerned, and quite a challenging project to put together at relatively last minute.
Yeah, it really is, but I also think it's a really cool thing that's happening over this regatta, with people from international crews racing with people from other countries, and you know, you might have different styles, you might have different techniques, different programs, but getting the opportunity to race with someone from another country is pretty unique as well, in a really competitive environment. So obviously unfortunate that the New Zealand double couldn't race, but a unique experience for these female athletes to have.
Well, Lucy Glover will be enjoying it, her and Catherine Glen in a very commanding position, just past halfway. Here you can see Titterington and Connolly. One from Ireland, one from Nottingham Rowing Club. Sophie Connolly, 35 years old now, in the stroke seat there. Back for her third Henley Royal Regatta.
And it looks like there's a little bit of a side wind blowing crews over that way. And when it's a double, normally doubles don't have the foot steering like fours or pairs will have. So these athletes will be having to kind of pull harder on one arm, which can be really, really quite exhausting, and take a little bit more effort and affect the rhythm a little bit more. So they're kind of out there battling. It probably doesn't come across on the screen very well, the effort they're putting in to staying in their lane. But yeah, this combination is looking very relaxed. They've been able to take it down a bit, enjoy it, and it's probably really useful for them to have a competitive run down the course, being a relatively throw-together combination.
Glen and Glover rolls off the tongue nicely, doesn't it? And
really
look at them moving that boat well. We've detected the same thing, a bit of a crosswind from the Buck station across to the Bark station. So it causes a few bits of bother with the steering potentially, and maybe that's most pronounced just as they come away from the shelter of Temple Island at the top of the track. But further down here, they're moving along well, and they're moving into the weekend, providing they can get this last couple of 100 metres absolutely spot on. And very central there, aren't they? I'm sure, I know they're a long way ahead, so it's less of an impact, but yeah, and I think they've acknowledged that and headed back towards their side of the water. Yeah,
it's one of the benefits. If you've got a few lengths up your sleeve, you can sort of play around with the steering a little bit more and be a bit lenient, but I'm sure they're still making a conscious effort. Yeah, you can see they've moved back, finishing the race on their right side.
Titterington and Connolly, second at Wallingford Regatta, just down the road from here. Over the line they go then. Catherine Glen and Lucy Glover. A new look double over the line and through to the next round of the Stonor Challenge Trophy. Titterington and Connolly there, all their experience, but their experience of this Henley Royal Regatta comes to a close.